Well, it's Saturday the 26th of July, and this is episode 301 of 301 Permanently Moved Online, a personal podcast 301 seconds in length, written, recorded, and edited by me, at the JMO. 8 years, 15 seasons, 301 episodes, over 25 hours of audio content, and roughly 290,000 words of script. Begun at age 32, completed today, the day after I turned 40. 1/5 of a lifetime distilled into a body of work. Creative ambitions I harboured in my 20s and realised in my 30s are now both distant and fulfilled. When I began, the idea of committing to 301 episodes would have been laughable. The point was simply to begin. I hit a wall around episode 240. By 2023, the enjoyment was gone and making the show felt painful. But whilst walking along the Thames that summer, the idea of 301 episodes arrived in a flash, and a finishing line rose over the horizon. At that moment, the complete project snapped into focus, and the pleasure of creation returned. I'm not sad the format is ending. Instead, I feel proud, accomplished, complete. I'm excited for what's next. Making this show has been an exercise in unwinding so many aspects of my younger self. A fear of writing from my dyslexia, a fear of exposure, of taking a singular creative position, which also explains my preference for being in bands. A shared project diffuses responsibility. I overcame a pernicious streak of perfectionism drilled into me preparing for musical grades in my young adulthood, and the voice that whispered, "Nothing is ever ready," is gone. I'm not going to lie though, making this show hasn't all been sunshine and roses. Every episode brought its own unique stress, and my girlfriend Eve experienced some of it too. There have been personal and social costs, lost sleep on Fridays, the sacrifice of easy weekends, and a body of work becoming an attack surface to fret about. But all the gains outweigh the losses. I have published anyway, unwinding psychic knots one episode at a time. Episode 1 was an experiment, episode 50, stubbornness, episode 100, addiction, and everything after 150, a meditation on endurance. Having a creative practice is not about how long you spend on a single thing. It's about how many times you step up to bat. And my commitment has afforded me 301 swings. I cannot imagine being a creative young person in today's media environment. I'm glad that I have experienced all of this with some life experience behind me. Overcoming the temptation to tie one's self-worth to metrics and download numbers is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. Creative rhythm is healthy, but the algorithmic grind is toxic. This show's format also comes to a close at the dawn of the age of infinite media. The Book of Silicon is here, and the iconoclasm of the information age is upon us. Closing the cover on this internet and period of my life feels like a necessary choice. 1,000-word essays spoken by a disembodied English voice are now fully automatable, and confronting this new reality, the decision to stop feels right. Though I am tempted to build a self-parodying 301 generator at some point. In the post-AI era, I wish to move permanently on from the logic of weekly uploads, and instead lean into and produce things to my taste. So what's next? Well, a new logo and a rebrand to Simply Permanently Moved, and bigger, slower audio essays, field recorded rambles, and radio. Moving away from online is part of it too. I want my zine Start Select Reset to play a much larger role in my creative life. Limited runs for subscribers, physical copies and the occasional PDF for everybody else. I need to step outside the 301 second long container for a while, though I may return when brevity feels playful again rather than compulsory. And of course, I'll still be on my blog. Turning 40 concentrates the mind, and the work of my body throughout my 30s has produced a body of work that I now carry with me. With each episode, I gave voice to a thought and tossed it out into the world as a seed for the future. With 301 now gathered, the project reveals itself. It was never about the individual seeds, but the container that holds them all. Thank you to everyone who has ever pressed play, to my friends who understood when I couldn't always come to the pub, and thanks to the Ride or Die listeners who have been here since the beginning, and to the paying subscribers whose financial support made the last few years viable. And finally, thank you to Eve for standing watch on anxious Saturdays, for understanding the cost and sharing the burden. No creative project of this scale is a solo flight, and without you, this one would have stalled long ago. 32-year-old me, sitting at this exact desk to make episode 1, would have thought the idea of making 301 episodes was insane. But I also know that when he arrives here, he would understand that it was enough. The mission is complete, the level cleared, and the next stage is in my 40s. It requires fresh mechanics, more depth, and new horizons. If you'd like to support what's coming next, you can go to thejmo.net/support. Thank you all so much for listening, and until next time, be well, and I'll speak to you soon.